Brent has a collection of 36 baseball cards. He gave 2/3 of his cards to, or his collection, to his son. How many baseball cards does he give to his son? So to begin this problem, we can see that we do have a total, and I'm going to go ahead and look to see what my fraction is, which is 2/3. So we can see that the problem is asking us how many baseball cards does he give to his son. So we're looking for an actual number, not a fraction or a mixed number. We're looking for an actual whole number. So if he has a total of 36, he gave 2/3. And I know 2/3 is pretty up there. So I know I'm going to be looking for a higher number. So in order to have my bar, I need to look at my denominator, which tells me how many total are in the whole. So I can see that my total number of pieces will be 3. I'm going to make this a little bit larger for you. I'm going to try to make this easy on the eyes. So I can see there's my bar. It's cut into thirds based on my denominator. And he has a total of 36. And he gave his son 2/3. So I'm going to shade this one and this one because that is 1/3, 1/3, and this last third he kept for himself. So we're trying to figure out how many cards he gave his son. So we have to take 36 and divide it by 3. And if you know your multiplication tables, you can get it pretty quickly. So 36 divided by 3 is 12. So this right here, each box is going to be labeled with 12. So 12 goes there, and then 12 goes here. And then again, 12 goes in that last box as well. And to double check, I can go back and count. I can do repetitive addition, or I can just go back and add them all up if I needed to. But I do know that 12 times 3 does give me 36. And his son, he has 2/3 now. So I can see my yellow boxes are highlighted. And 12 plus 12 does give me a total of 24. So his son has 24 cards, and the dad is left, Brent, is left with 12. So I can see that 2/3 of 36 is 24, which leaves Brent, the dad, with 12 cards, which is 1/3. So there is my answer as a whole number. So that's one thing to always look for whenever you're reading your questions. Is it asking for a fraction, or is it asking for a whole number? And that can help you eliminate answers quickly. Charlie and Stephen complete a 30-mile hike. The first day, they traveled 1/3 of their total distance, and the second day, they traveled 2/5 of their total distance. So how many miles do they have left to travel on the third day? So this is where I can tell I'm going to have more than one step. And the question's asking me, how many miles do they have left to travel on the third day? So it will be a whole number, not a fraction. And it's asking for the third day. So I got to first figure out how much they did on day 1 and then day 2, and then use that with my total to figure out on day 3. So I can see on the first day they traveled 1/3, and this is a little intimidating. It can be a little intimidating because the denominator is different on this, but that's okay. Don't let it freak you out. So the first one, he did travel 1/3, because right there we cut it in thirds, and he's 1/3, and we know the total of the trip is 30. So I'm going to take this 30, I'm going to take it all the way over here. Now looking at 30, I can do 30 divided by 3, and using my mental math again, I can easily see that 30 divided by 3 is 10. So I'm going to add 10 in each of these blocks, because again, he traveled only 1/3, which is still a lot for a day's walk if you ask me. On a hike, that seems like a nice day. So 10, 10, and 10, 10 times 3 is 30. And if he traveled 1/3, then he traveled 10 miles on day 1. Now, day 2, he traveled 2/5 of the total distance, not what he had left, but the total distance, which is still 30. So I'm going to cut this into fifths. It's got to be the same size, and we're going to shade in 2 pieces. And the total again is still the same. So let's go ahead and add my 30 over here at the end. And I did have 5 parts. So 30 divided by 5, or 5 times what gives me 30. And we all love problems like this because it deals with 5. 5 is not too terrible. We like doing the 5 tables. So each block is considered 6 because 6 times 5 is 30. The Schoolhouse Rock video for 5s is one of my favorite. Let's keep plugging away here. Even though I'm not using all of them, I still like to see it just so I can double check my work, make sure I have everything lined up. So I have 5 boxes and 2 are shaded because he traveled 2/5 of the total distance. So now looking at this, I can see on day 1 he traveled 10 miles. Day 2 he traveled 6 plus 6, which is 12 miles. So let's go ahead and add that 12 right down here, just so I can see, because it's 2 blocks. The first one, it was just 1 block, so I left that 10 there. The bottom one, there's 2. But now we need to take 10 plus 12, because that's the total for day 1 and day 2, which gives me 22. Now, am I done? No, I'm not done, because I have to find, remember the question's asking me, how many miles do they have left to travel on the 3rd day? So we know there's a total of 30 miles, and they've already traveled 22. So 30 minus 22 is equal to 8, because 8 plus 22 does give me 30. So the answer for this one, how many miles have left to travel on the 3rd day, is 8.